So I can remember the little girl shooting hoops in the driveway, making up stories in her mind, thinking about what her life might look like someday. I can remember wondering if God had put someone out there in this world that was praying for me just as much as I was praying and rooting for him.
I learned every good day should have multiple parts. You should do a few different things. So we went to Rochester Coffee first, and I think we just sat and talked for 2 hours.
One of the first things he asked me was like, what has your faith journey been? Like, how did you get where you're at right now? And I was like, nobody has ever asked me that.
And I was like, let's go mini golf. So we walk up to the counter, and I'm like, can I have two clubs, 2 balls? We want to play some mini golf.
And we get there, and they had just closed. And I was like, do you want to play like arcade games? And I said no, because I kind of wanted to see what he would do.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just skip to the last part of our date. We'll go to Call Point.
As soon as we pull up, a car gets pulled over, and the police wave us down. They're like, you guys have to go. You have to get out of here.
So we ended up just going to a park and sitting and sharing AirPods and listening to music for another hour or so.
So everything he had to kind of shift, which was really I'm glad it did happen that way, because I got to see he was just so chill.
Showtime. Let's get this man married. Let's do it.
Loving each other will grow and flourish over time. But there's only one thing that holds a marriage together. And you might be thinking, I'm going to say God, but I am not. What holds a marriage together is that when you love each other, you love being married to each other. You love the relationship. When you cherish the relationship as much as you cherish each other, nothing gets in the way.
I vow to be both your partner and best friend, always reminding you of who God has made you to be and what you look like in his eyes. I vow to love you unconditionally, every version of yourself that comes to me. I promise to be the funny one in the relationship, to strive for that laugh and smile that touches the corner of your eyes. Today, I give you my body, mind, and spirit. They're all yours, save for you. And now I choose you for the rest of our lives. I love you.
Ooh, I want to kiss right now. Cassidy, you are the girl I've prayed to God to know and to be known by for years. You are beauty beyond beauty. And not just today, because oh my God. I mean, right, but it's not simply your beauty that caused me to fall in love with you. In spite of my flaws, my weirdness, my sin, and you've chosen to love me. And I vow this, to never take a day for granted, to wake up every morning loving you more and more, to recognize your beauty that I see. I vow to make you laugh and treasure the sweet melody it gives my ears. I vow to breathe deep in hopes that your perfume would get trapped and it would become all I could smell. I vow to love and hold you through all of life. And most importantly, I vow to never let you forget who you are, a daughter of the Most High King.
I am debating on whether we should continue before the kiss or whether you should have the kiss. I think you might need the kiss. You might kiss your bride. All right, and now Cassidy and Sean are going to celebrate what we call communion, the Lord's Supper, the Eucharist together as a sign of commitment to one another, like Jesus committed himself to us when he hung on the cross and gave up his body and his blood.
Cassidy and I were very passionate about this, that we wanted our first act as a married couple to be completely and totally centered around the gospel of Jesus Christ, showcasing how beautiful, messy, real, authentic, intimate, and radical the story of God's love for us is. But what we did was we reenacted what Jesus did on his last night as a free man. His last night as a free man before he went to the cross, the Son of God decided he would spend some moments with his best friends. He shared a meal with them. He took bread and he broke it. He said, "This is my body, which I'm breaking for you." And he took a cup of wine and he gave it to them. He said, "This is my blood. So take and eat and do this in remembrance of me. You may not get it, but tomorrow when you see what you're going to see, when you see me on a cross, I want you to remember that I'm doing this simply because I love you so much." And then Jesus showed his friends how much he loved them. He's the kind of God that in a room of middle-aged men that have been traveling all day, sweating all day, walking through dirt and sand, he would get on his hands and knees and wash his friends' feet. What kind of radical love. And it was a custom that if you came into someone's house as a guest, they would wash your feet, but that was a job meant for the lowest of servants. Surely not the Son of God himself, the Prince of Peace, definitely not the King of Kings should be the one washing feet. But God himself chose to make himself lowly so that he could love us in this radical, beautiful way. We want to show you this kind of love, that we as the guests of honor today are going to love you in the realest, most authentic, most intimate, most messy way we can if you'll let us.
So for the first time in history, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Sean Mcculloch.
Mr. and Mrs. Mcculloch!
One of my fondest memories of Cassidy actually involves a trash can. So take notes for this, you might need it.
That is what true love looks like. And at this time, the dance floor is open.